Hi, welcome to my set of videos. This is Patricia Ann Landon Regali, Chief Little Flower, coming at you from the trenches of having been targeted. I am a targeted individual that have been targeted since about the age of 25 for about a couple of years. Then it would recess into the background on and off until the year of COVID, about 2020, whenever gang stalking had reemerged in full force and full effect. At the time of this recording, it is November 2024, and the gang stalking, the PSYOP assignments still continue. And so my videos they're about my experiences as a targeted individual. I had been railroaded out of a successful and thriving career as a paramedic. I've been a paramedic for about 13 years before I walked away from my profession as a paramedic for two reasons. The first one was so I could speak freely about being heavily targeted and gang stalked in medical facilities by other medical professionals. If I were to hold a job in the medical world, that would be a huge conflict of interest for me and any potential employer. And so I have a passion for sharing this with the world because what's happened to me can happen to anybody. And if we were to shrink in fear, how would anybody ever rise up to protect themselves and to arm themselves with the knowledge of objective data? And additionally, since I was being targeted in the medical world, I knew it was a matter of time before somebody was paid to bear false accusations against my license. In other words, it was a matter of time before people would just make false accusations on my license. So those were the two reasons why I had nobly walked away from my career as a paramedic. And so I decided not to renew my license because if my license was inert and non-viable, nobody could make any accusation against it. So I stayed 10 steps ahead of the community-based harassment. And so these videos are about my thoughts. They're about my experiences as a heavily targeted individual. So thank you for stopping.
Hey, it's Patricia Ann Landon Regali, Chief Little Flower, coming at you from this beautiful day in February 11th, 2025. So, it's been a minute. How's it going for everybody? Hopefully, we've all been fighting the good fight. None of us are perfect, but if we're willing to be accountable, that's the hard line in the sand, you know? For me, well, it's been a tumultuous ride. I know that somebody somewhere out there knows about the gang stalking that have been perpetuated upon me in my life that had torn apart almost every aspect of my life. And so I hope you all are speaking to those that had been issuing all of the gang stalking tactics. I'm not mad at any one of you. And in fact, I pray that each of you find healing. And if you do, well, then it's a win-win for everybody. But I do have to say I gave all of it to God. And why am I going to worry about it if I gave it to God? So everything that I have been going through is secondary to all of the malarkey that the gang stalkers have put me through. They get to enjoy. And so one of the primary components of the gang stalking had been whenever those that were responsible for gang stalking me up in Washington while I was in Linwood Library, you guys broke into the engine compartment of my truck and disabled and vandalized my my power steering capacity. That was malicious, and I know that your end game was even more diabolical. But being the fact that I subscribe to God and that I look towards God to rectify and reconcile all of the misalignments in my life. I mean, not just the things that happened to me, but the things that I have been responsible for, because if I misstep, and when I do, I want to be corrected, because I don't want to be such a stick in the mud that nobody would want to be around me, because I didn't think beyond myself. And ironically, even though if you think beyond yourself, doesn't mean that you're going to be well received. It seems as though whenever we do walk upright, sometimes those of us that walk upright tend to create a stir in those that have demonic infestations. We tend to stir up our light irritates the demons inside of others sometimes. And so, well, that's just part of the walk whenever we subscribe to God and are tested at times. But I have had to do a lot of walking to be gainfully employed. And, well, I will say this. Everything I've had to go through secondary to all of the gang stalking, all you gang stalkers, you're going to have to endure. You're going to have to do as well just to survive. So here I am walking to a bus stop. Half a mile there, a mile here, a quarter of a mile there. It all adds up. And so I'm just thankful that I have the ability to navigate public transportation, and that I have the ability to be so healthy and happy that I can do it. And you have to realize something. My truck was orchestrated away from me. My life was orchestrated secondary to gang stalking. And even though I had to endure all of the atrocities, I still persevere. I still look to God, and I still forgive. And so, honestly, forgiveness is for ourselves, so it can be a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little greedy. Why would it be greedy? Well, because when you forgive and you actually let go, you know that karmic justice is going to step in for you and do the heavy lifting. So why am I going to care about some joker that had sideswiped me? Yeah, it stings, sure. But when you know that karmic justice will play out for you, and all you have to do is forgive and let it go. And then you can amp that by leveraging forgiveness with prayers of positivity. Well, that's like pouring hot coals on the devil himself. So of course I'm going to let go and love. But I have so many more stories to tell. I'm just going to keep it right here for now. I know that the Most High is going to leverage everything I ever had to go through, secondary to all of the gang stalking, secondary to my truck being vandalized and usurped out from underneath me. I didn't have the means to get it fixed. I did not have the means to get it out from being towed from me. And I did not have the means of working because I was heavily targeted. And not only that, I was blackballed from employment too while I was out in Washington. So your sense of survival becomes that you just don't want to leave any leverage to being work mobbed, to being sideswiped in a work environment, or let alone being at risk of more of the gang stalking tactics, more of the gaslighting, more of the community-based harassment, and all of this organized crime, criminal crime ring that it is, that I became a happy shut-in for about a year. And after a year, that was too long, so I'm moving forward in other capacities. So there isn't anything that this gang stalking program could do to me that I will not survive, because I will overcome it all. I know the power in the Most High. I know the power in my Savior, Jesus Christ. And you can say whatever you want about it, but there are plenty of stories on how Jesus Christ was the only virtue that helped people from the lake of fire. Research testimony of hell. See what you come up with, because these people have one thing in common. None of them know each other and have such strong common denominators in their accounts and their testimony. But no matter what, I know that my story is yet to see its completion, and I'm in the throes of moving forward and rebooting. But no matter what happened to me, I know that any of my struggles are the struggles that the gang stalkers will have, if they don't have it already. Because everything I've had to endure, you all of you gang stalkers, all of you that target individuals, will have to endure the same fate that you had ensued upon others. My question becomes, how many people did you do that to besides myself? And how many people did you guys gang stalk, target to death? Because I speak up and I speak out, not just for me, but for those without a voice, and those who had succumbed beyond their measure of control. But anyways, it's been Patricia Ann Landon Regali. I'm still without a vehicle. If there are any philanthropists out there that would like to give back to the community, you can look right no further than right here. And then if anybody of the ethical ABC boys, such as the Feds, CIA, DEA, whoever, whatever, where have you been? There's a lot of open disclosures that need to happen, and you can start right here. And there's pick your place. There's more than one targeted individual on YouTube other than myself. But I'm still doing my best and will always rise above the occasion, because I'm a survivor. I'm a midnight rider. I'm an urban gypsy, local legend, historical icon within my own time. Thank you very much. Who helped almost single-handedly bring down gang stalking and help see through fruition the abolishment of gang stalking. But until then, I keep on plugging along. And that's all we can do, everybody. But it's not all we can do. It's everything we can do to look to the Most High, to look to the universe, to reconcile all of the misalignment on your behalf when you forgive and when you are able to let it go. And hopefully let it go in love and the fate, knowing that your rights will be wronged, and those that came sideways at you, they'll have to endure everything they put others through. Until next time, thank you for watching my video. See you next time.